Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and today we're looking at the most badass watch I've ever had my hands on. This is the Marsthon GSAR. The price for this watch new is $960 on a rubber strap. The bracelet's an extra $200, so this is about $1,160 new. Now, this is the GSAR, and GSAR stands for Government Search and Rescue. This watch was designed for divers on the search and rescue team. This watch is currently used by some members of the United States Marine Corps. Definitely not all of them, as this is a very expensive piece of equipment. It's well-made. It's Swiss-made. Has a Swiss movement. It has the ETA 2824-A2. Let me move the hands out of the way to show you the writing on here, but you can see that there's a radioactive symbol just to the left of the 3 o'clock, and just to the right of the 9 o'clock is H3. You'll see that once the second hand moves out of the way. So those are on there due to the tritium dials, or not dials, the tritium tubes that contain gas. So let me move the hands. I was thinking vials, not dials. Not sure why I said dials, but anyway, tubes, same difference. So you can see there it says Maritac U.S. Government. Let's zoom in a little bit. Then automatic and 300 meter. Down by the 6 o'clock, it says Swiss made. You can also see the 24 hour, or the 13 through 24, just to the inside of the 1 through 12 Arabics. You have a day down here at it's kind of the 4:30 position. So very nice and legible. You can see the tritium tubes here on the hands, and also each of the indices. I will attempt to show the loom later on. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up with my camera. So let's zoom back out here. This is a hand winding and hacking movement, as you can see there. The crown is gigantic on this. Not the diameter so much, but the size of it going in and out. Definitely get a good grip on that. The bezel is just super easy to turn. You have a lot of area to purchase on here. Very nice positive clicks. Very little back play. And as you'll see later on, this loom pip is loomed, obviously. I should say the 12 o'clock triangle there is loomed. So this is 300 meter water resistant, as you could probably tell just by looking at it. It's definitely designed for use and abuse. I mean, this thing can take a beating. I wouldn't want to get hit with this either. All right, let's go over the dimensions. So it looks larger than what it actually is. The lug width on this is 48. The case diameter is 41. And the thickness on this, surprisingly, is 13.5. I thought it would be thicker than that. It looks a lot thicker, I guess just due to the slab-sided case and also the thickness of the bezel. So I'll compare it to my SKX here in a moment. It does have 20 millimeter strap width. I guess it looks okay. If the watch diameter was any larger, then for sure I would like to see a 22. But the 20 doesn't look too bad. It's very similar to a Rolex Submariner, dimension-wise. I never actually held a Submariner, but just going off the dimensions is similar to that. And the crown diameter is 6.5, which isn't that big, but the dimension this way is actually quite large. So let me grab my SKX. Just give you an idea of what I'm talking about with the crown. Looks like it's twice as long. The SKX has a 7mm crown, if I remember correctly, and this one's 6.5. So, as I was mentioning the size earlier, the SKX is a 42 millimeter diameter watch, and lug to lug on this is 48. So, very similar sizes. But just looking at the GSAR by itself, you would, at least to me, I thought it looks like a bigger watch. So as I pointed out in my unboxing, the depth of, I'm not sure if the dial is just really small or if it's sunken down into the watch more than the SKX, but the dial looks a lot smaller. It could be because of the just the metal chapter ring versus the painted one here. Also, this has a flat sapphire crystal. My SKX, this one here, has been modded to a domed sapphire. But this Marsthon is crystal clear, really. I don't know if there's any AR on that or not. There might be. But at this angle, you don't even see a crystal. So, it's a very cool watch. I'd like to thank Art again for lending it in for us to check out. I wanted to buy one of these for a long time. Just never pulled the trigger on one. I think, well, mainly due to the price. Let's talk about the bracelet here. So it's a 3-link bracelet, but the center links have a little bulge on them up at the top. It kind of gives it like a sawtooth look. At first I thought the center links were kind of bent, but they're not bent, but angled out. They're flat on the back. So there's an actual bump on here. So it's solid end link, solid bracelet length. It does have a stamped clasp, no dual deployment or anything like that, just a safety clasp, very similar to what's on the SKX. So if a stamped clasp is good enough for the Marines, it's good enough for me or any other military service that uses this watch. I personally, I really don't mind a stamped clasp. I don't know what the big deal is with having one versus a milled clasp. It does the trick. And I didn't point this out in my unboxing, but this does have a dive extension, which makes perfect sense, seeing as how it is an actual dive watch. So that's pretty easy to pop that out. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 micro adjust there. It came out easy enough. And there's some, I will be able to show this off or not, but there's some government writing on the back here. Well, let me zoom in. I don't think I'll be able to read it. Let's see if we can do it. Yeah, there we go. You have the cage code on there. Serial number. So it looks like it has some, it's anti-magnetic there, I'm assuming, by that 26 millicuries. The serial number on there. Yeah, Swiss made, 316L stainless steel, automatic movement. So, actually, I believe Art is selling this. So if you're interested, you can just send me an email and I'll put you in contact with him. Let me get this on wrist and then we can do the loom shot. Sorry, going a little long in this video, but just trying to enjoy my time with this. It does have the drilled lugs here for easy strap changes, but this thing looks great on this bracelet. End links fit real nice to the case. All right, let's get it on wrist here. So I was saying in my unboxing, it looks like it might be too big for me, but I don't know. I think I can pull it off. Oh, you know what? Before I do well, let's just finish the wrist shot. I wanted to show you the thickness of this compared to the SKX. So here we go on my wrist. 6.5-inch wrist, 52 millimeter wristband. And again, lug to lug on this is 48. And it does have a female center link, so it's not protruding out any further than the actual lugs. So here we are zoomed out. So let me know what you guys think of this watch. Are you as impressed with it as I am? Would you wear it with my size wrist? Sorry, I'm not didn't resize the bracelet. Here's a look at the thickness of it. So let me zoom back in, and I'll try and show you the thickness of this compared to the SKX. So I measured this at, again, 13.5 millimeter thick. And then the SKX is also 13.5. Let me bring this up a little closer. So these are actually the same thickness. Just to me, this one seems a lot thicker. Let's see if I can put them side by side here. Give you a better perspective there. I think it's just because of the way that case is rounded. Let's zoom in a little bit. So, yeah. All right, let me pause the video and I will attempt to show the loom off on this. I think this is my first time actually handling a watch with the tritium tubes as well. So, a couple of firsts today. All right, so I will usually blast the flashlight with UV, but I did not do it in this case to try and show the tritium off. But with my camera set up here, if I'm in pitch black, I won't be able to focus. So it's unfortunately not going to be able to work out the way I wanted to. So let me just hit this with the UV light, and you can see how these light up. So there are two different color looms on there. You have the orange at the 12 o'clock. The hands and everything else are green. And then the 12 o'clock loom pip there is Mariglow. That's not tritium. And then the SKX is, of course, Lumibrite. So as soon as I turn off the black light, you will not see the loom on this one anymore. I'll take that back. You can see a little bit at the 12 o'clock. So anyway, that'll do it for today. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.